felt like at the moment that was going to be my best opportunity. Just because this stand is super high. It's 30 feet.
We are headed to, if you listen to the After Hours podcast, I teased the fact that we quite possibly were going to luck into a pretty sweet opportunity with a new permission farm. And by golly, if the stars didn't align and all of a sudden we have a big old playground of a river bottom to deer hunt on. And so we just got the word, I just got the key, and I cannot be more thankful for the good buddy that I'm going to be doing some hunting here with. And basically tonight we're just going to go speed scout this place. I mean, we got an hour until sunset, and it's about a mile and a half of just, you know, farm roads to get back into where we're going to hunt. A lot of different peninsulas, a lot of standing ag. Honestly, I don't know what the heck it looks like. I've dropped a ton of Onyx pins, and I can just say that there's going to be deer here. I have no clue what quality per se, but I am jacked up, and I don't know. I'm excited. Evan and I are chomping at the bit to see what this place has in store for us. It's October 22nd, and we're going to try to put our skills to the test and see what we can figure out in the short term.
Here's my takeaways. This place is huge, tons of cover. We're gonna be able to use these trails to get around. There's a big deer here somewhere, and we're gonna figure him out. This place is freaking sweet. It's so cool, man.
All right, well, here it is, October 23rd, and I just got to the Big Bird Farm. It is a cold front rolling through today in Iowa. I can actually see some rain off to my west, and I am pulling cameras today because I got permission on this new piece of property further to our west, and it clusters a little closer to where I'm going to be hunting the big deer. So, with having no pictures of drop time, I do think he's dead. I figured I might gotta take my resources. I'm gonna pool them all over there, and we still might sneak back here for a hunt or two. Not sure. 6x5. I think he very easily could be alive. I think that he rut ranges somewhere else, and he returned late season last year. So, not giving up here. Joy might be doing some hunting here, but I am pulling the Cuddy link. We're gonna shift it over, and as you can see through some of the video clips here, it is a big river bottom that we got access to. Went out last night with the Latitude saddles thinking that we were going to observation sit for tonight's cold front, and there's still about 250, 300 acres of standing corn down there. So vast amounts of food, river bottom, peninsulas, you name it. It's a little bit overwhelming as far as what is there to dissect, but man, I think we are going to be in the game. And the other news I have is that I got a picture last night of the big deer. Long story short, I've been waiting on the corn to come out to the south of the property that I can hunt, and it started coming out 2 days ago. And I told Gavin and Rye, I was like, I'd be shocked if we don't get him within 2 days. We're gonna know if he moved for his rut range. We won't get him obviously, but what he's been doing, living on the fringe, I think we should get him. And last night at like 8:30, got him going by the coon hive. So exciting times. Need to get resources over there, and we need to take advantage of this cold front. So I think what I'm going to try to do today is pull these cameras, get home, and we're probably going to sit that ditch and hope that the big deer's in the area. We see him, give him a few calls, and if we can kill him tonight. It's a beautiful steel gray sky day. It's everything you could ask for as a bow hunter. So where I'm standing right now is the fence crossing where drop time was last year. This is where we should have killed him. Beautiful stand, but just never worked out. So, pulls camera, keep on moving.
So following getting all the Cuddy Back trail cameras pulled off the Big Bird property, headed back to meet Evan, and with that MRI on the big deer, we decided we were going to take a shot. The Steel Gray Skies made their way for Bluebird Day, and this draw sets up so that we are going to hunt this on a northwest wind. North winds will work too. We come in right off the road, and it's not a whole lot to work with. I mean, the gist of hunting this big deer is going to be, we're gonna watch paint dry. He's in the general area, but he's not consistent. This is not a spot where I'm gonna be putting him to bed, hunting him coming out. I mean, we're just gonna have to get lucky, frankly, and that's more or less what this hunt is all about. It's just getting a permanent stand location for the upcoming rut, because I predict it's gonna take a doe, and really we're banking on that what we're overlooking is a doe bedding area. Well, we get a stand hung, we see a couple of does work their way into the field, and that's about all we could have asked for as it pertains to this hunt. All right, well, we're down to our last 10 minutes, and no bucks yet, no big deer, but definitely a fun, successful hunt. I mean, the deer came out of the bedding we expected, and we learned something about a trail they go in right here into the woods. Expected the movement to be going to the south to the corn, but that might intensify when they finish cutting everything. Overall, though, a productive day, getting those cameras pulled on the Big Bird. And then in the next few days, we're going to be going to the new river property that we're calling Big Bottom. And that's where we'll deploy the Cuddy Link system. So, right on the cusp of the big party. And I'm excited to hear how the rest of the guys did tonight. But
okay, well, a very exciting day. We are now on the new property, Big Bottom. It is October 24th. We got all the cameras pulled, as I mentioned a few times this week, over on the Big Bird. And I think right now we're sitting with a Cuddy Link system of 12, 13 cameras or so. And as you just saw, we drove back in here way further than we expected. Basically everything to my south is standing corn. And there's a ton of food, as I've mentioned. I think it's probably close to 200, 250 acres of standing corn. And why we are out here mad dashing to get this system put together is because we're getting the first substantial rain in Iowa in a very long time. I mean, we got a 1/4 inch a few days ago, but tonight it's supposed to rain, big front come through. And basically, I think that this is our best chance to run an inventory on this new piece if we can identify some scrapes along the way. Obviously, we're still going to put cameras on trails. We're still going to put cameras in other spots that make sense, but we really want to try to find these scrape lines because they should be super active over the next day or two. Obviously, big deer is still in the forefront of our minds, but I think this place holds a lot of potential. It's very interesting. Again, you got this flooded pockets where these were all soybeans, but there's rises randomly where the beans did grow, and the farmers chose not to cut them with all the weeds, I'm assuming. So there is food in here amongst all the standing corn we have to our south, all of our beddings to the north, and it's going to be a puzzle to solve, but man, it really sets up great to hunt on cold fronts. It's going to be a heck of an adventure to get back here. We were able to drive back here without any fear of spooking anything because of all the standing corn. And number two, we're just trying to get this done from an efficiency standpoint. But we're going to speed scout, we're going to learn, mark as many pins as necessary on Onyx to ingest from, and then hopefully we can come up with some plans to just take some stabs and get in the game. Rut's right around the corner. I mean, it's the latest I've ever picked up a new piece to try to learn it, but what a problem to have. So we're going to take you along here. If anything jumps out to us, we'll show it to you. Well, above us, in front of us, there's an antler. And I literally just kicked it. I'm looking ahead of me, was walking somewhere. I kicked that and we heard the echo. How about that? That's pretty sweet. Old, flooded, who knows how long it's been here, but there are deer here. Tons of tracks in this water. So we'll come back and get that. Let's keep rolling. All right, well, on top of that shed, one of the things we're finding in this first spot is a set of tracks. And we've got 2 old stands here. One that's really old, one looks newer. To the best of my knowledge, we are the only ones with permission, keys to the gate down this bottom. Now, it's very possible, I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions, but there's definitely a set of tracks coming in that's definitely on the property, and there's a set of tracks going out. And so this is either a trespassing stand or somebody else has permission here that we're not made aware of. So I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of that, mostly because number one, don't want to ruin somebody's hunt, but two, obviously if somebody's not supposed to be here, that is, we should take care of that for the landowner too. So we'll see what the cameras tell us or what we can get from the landowner and maybe get some clarity on that. But it's good to know. It's why it's important to scout this, and I just, you know, you never want to run into somebody that we didn't really think we were going to without doing your due diligence. We're gonna get back to the truck. I never really found anything I want to put a camera on here, so what we're gonna do is go drive down further to the east. The reason why is because when I'm putting out these cell cams, the home specifically for Cuddy Lake, the more that it's in the middle of where you want to put cameras, the better it's going to perform. So that's why we're going to do that. And then there's a really big bedding area right along the river that I think we're going to try to tackle, and surely we're going to find some sign in there. So wildlife's here, obviously. We just got to kind of decipher. I've never hunted terrain like this, so this is brand new for me. It's not as clear topographically how these deer are going to move, and I'm excited for the challenge. So we'll keep on moving. Right in front of us to our east, we just kicked up our first deer ever on this place. There's a bedding area of willows. We went from this kind of hardwood, cottonwood thicket to thick bedding right there. And it looked like just does, but it's good to know. Not found a scrape yet, not found any rubs over here. I was just telling Evan that if I was on another piece of property where I grew up hunting, I would have expected to see rubs going that way, rubs going this way, you know, your bigger rut sign. I just think we're missing the X right now, so we just gotta find that. And that's what we're doing, speed's counting around, so. Definitely trails right here. See how that's all tore up?
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is that? Look down, scrape, rub, 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 rub. Broken tree rub. This is what we were looking for, my What do you think?
I think for the most condensed sign that we found, it's a good start.
It's the most condensed sign I've found all year. Seriously, I mean, it's not even close. All right, we're gonna walk out to go get the truck, and then we'll make our way through this. I just want to load this up with cameras, so we're gonna go in there. All right, well, so far, probably 2 hours into this scout, we've only got 2 cameras out, and the main reason was because we just weren't gonna put something up for the sake of doing it. We've covered the west portion, which is where we found that shed. We've covered where we put the home camera. There's some standing beans. But we're gonna dive back in where we just made that scrape. Well, there's already a scrape. We just opened it up a little bit more, put some of that Evercalm. It's rutting buck's what it's called. But we're gonna push back. It is thick, thick, thick in there. And I think that's where we're gonna find our most sign. But there's a pinch to the north here that me and Gavin were looking at on all the different maps we got access to. And so that's where we're gonna head now. All right, well, we just found a cluster of rubs that are going directionally to the northeast. And there's this line of trees, hardwoods on this bedding to my west. That camera we just set up is probably 125 yards on that scrape. So this would be perfect for a west wind. And assuming that there's does in there as well, I could see a buck. This is such an easy path to travel. There's old trails, old rubs. Like I said earlier, we were looking for a rut sign. That's the type of stuff I was expecting to find. So this cluster of trees,
definitely could be a good option for us. The water's to our west, the bedding would be to our west. It'd be a perfect thing to call on. Very excited about this spot as potential, you know, killing location. There's a street. All right, well, here's the next takeaway. So we came to, this would be our, this is our 4th stand we found. And I would say that this one is old, the one we just found is old. I mean, this has got mold on the straps. I mean, everything's just deteriorating. And I can see our camera we put over the scrape right over here. The rubs continue this way, they go that way. And what we were talking about is, if you wanted to hunt this on a south wind, it's a great tree where the stand's at, so we're gonna keep that in mind. But you could access, go over the, I guess it would be a dike, or you know, just the tree line. So we walked and we didn't find any sign going east to west. And we could walk the bottom of it where it's dirt through, and we could pop right in the backside of this tree. And then we have all this in front of us. And I mean, you're in a jungle. I mean, all sides of you, it's willow thickets, and obviously there's a ton of buck sign here. I could see this being a perfect summer buck bed. Had this water source nearby, all these willow shoots were providing, you know, tonnage. But even so, I think that this is an incredible spot for the rest of the year. And I think if you sat in this area, I mean, what other stand selection we found was over there. Hunt that on a west wind, hunt this on the south. The only one so far would be tough to hunt on the north, but if you wanted to send it all, you could find a way to hunt right here and use your thermals to carry. So we're gonna keep trying to get some cameras out because we've only got the same 2 out. But there's so much good sign, and I don't have unlimited cameras, so I want to make sure we're putting it in good spots. But this is exciting, to say the very least. Who knows what the heck's living in here? No idea what his antler size is, but I would feel very comfortable to say there's a big deer, old deer, somewhere roaming. What are you thinking back there? Overwhelming? Excited?
I'm excited about it.
He's excited about it? That's a good tree right there. And this is an old 2-track. It's grown up over the years, but you can see like all the trees stopped on it, you know?
Yeah.
Let's follow the golden trail and see where it leads. All right, so we're to the next spot here, and basically what Evan and I are walking to is this is a spot where a lot of bottlenecks come together, and it leads off into a big peninsula. That's a crazy thing. Everything we've walked so far is not even remotely close to what we would consider the main bedroom. That's 120 acres of peninsula back here, and all that standing corn is, I don't know, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile to the south. But when we started coming through this funnel right here, I started noticing a ton of old chopped trees. You can see they were sawed down, you know, like this guy right here. And there was a ton of them. And so I looked at Evan and I go, stop, where's the tree stand? There's gotta be a tree stand here somewhere. Somebody long ago. We're finding all the good spots, I guess, when somebody else hunted here at some point. But again, you can see some old rubs in here, and my brain's just working a million miles an hour of how would we get in here, what winds could we hunt this on. This would be a good west wind spot. We can blow it right into these all these riverbed sloughs are dried up this year. I mean, we haven't had rain in forever, so the best water is what's left right here, and that's how I think we're gonna use this. We're gonna use this guy as a lot of abilities to access different spots and different winds. It's almost like it's an own little underground trail system, so we gotta find a spot to put a camera. Gotta keep finding all these places, and then we just keep walking. So this one's not jumping out to me too much though, as like I gotta put it here. But it's still a good spot and one to note. A lot of deer track. All right, so as we're walking through this peninsula, I'm just trying to take everything I've ever learned watching Mike on the river farm, Gavin on his public land, and we're trying to identify changes in the vegetation and the tree composition. And we're not finding a whole lot. You know, we're finding some deer sign, but no scrapes, no rubs, and then all of a sudden, boom, we finally come across a fresh scrape. And I'm super jacked because this is what we need. We got this rain coming. I personally think this is our best inventory chance, and little did I know just how beneficial this was gonna be.
That is a freaking hammer scrape. Let's go. All right, well, we're about 2.5 miles into our walk total today, and this is the second scrape we found. What's really cool, we saw this piled up grass about 30 yards away, and I was like, please be a scrape. Came into contact with one closer, found this one, and you can see this guy has lost a lot of limbs over the years. Big trail leading north to south. Let's see what monster is on here, huh? He's been here soon. I'll bet you he's on here in the next day or two with this rain coming. Mm-hmm. Good find. Bunker exit. Let's call it bunker.
Sure.
It's the other scrape we had on Big Bird. Why not keep this in? This scrape line is probably gone for, what do you think, 200, 300 yards at least?
At least, yeah.
And this is walking us back to our slough that was fully dried up. So my hope is that we can follow this all the way to the slough and then try to make a game plan. There's so many trees in here we could get in. There's just a lot of big ones, so we really should try to pick a tree as we're going here.
We should.
So we get camera number 4 up. This is the second one on the scrape line. I've got them a few hundred yards apart, and we continue to follow this thing, finding scrape after scrape after scrape. I mean, you're talking, I don't know, we probably ended up 25 plus by the time we coursed through this trail of 400 to 500 yards, and eventually it led us out of the cover. And wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden the sky started to change color, the thunder came, and then it was a mad dash to wrap up the scouting day.
Oh, cameras in the back and stuff. Yeah. Film this. It is now hailing. Too late for that to help. Hope we don't get stuck.
Well, as you're watching this, it's October 27th, and we're here at the end of the week. We're going to upload this video as soon as I'm done doing this. I pushed off editing this till today, so if it felt rushed, I apologize about that. But hopefully you got across the week we just went on. It was a week full of change, a week full of great opportunity. Albeit I would rather not be switching farms and trying to learn pieces at this time frame, but here's where we're at. If you made it this far, this is the update, and the update's a good one. We, since the last time we were out in the field, put out all those cameras on the new property, have gotten 2 very big deer on camera. Right away following that rain, we got a lot of activity, does, bucks, small bucks. And then I think now we're 3 days from when we were out there. We got 2 shooters on camera, including one last night that walked the scrape line so that he made that same connection path that we did. And he's a giant. Got a ton of, brow tines, got a big triple beam like brow tine on his right side. Looks like he broke a common base G3. Don't really care. Like I said, just really big deer, and that speed scouting evidently paid off. And I just cannot express how excited I am for upcoming hunts there. And this is where I'm going to leave it with, you know, looking at the next few days on Onyx, it's going to be very hot. We've got south winds. We've got high south winds at that. Pressure's falling out to the very bottom, and it's a perfect few days for us to get some work done. But we have 2 properties now that have my focus. Number 1, it's the big deer property. That's where the big deer with all drop tines is. We've also got this other buck that has all the multi-tines. We don't have a name for him, but he's been showing up. He is also a giant. And then you've got the river property with the 2 bucks. Basically, what we're going to have to make a decision on is, do we want to sit and watch paint dry for the big deer? There's 2 giants. We're in a draw. We're not going to see a lot of deer, but the chance is there to see the right deer. Or do we go to the river bottom where we know deer numbers are going to be there? We know there's 2 good deer in the area, and it's a fantastic dilemma to have. I couldn't imagine going from drop tine 6x5, losing both of them to only a few short weeks being here. And, you know, while that does take a little bit of effort, it also takes great friends, great opportunities. And I'm very, very thankful to be in the position we are, because as I mentioned, the forecast the next few days does not look good. So look ahead at Halloween, and specifically the Wednesday, the 30th. Overnight, it's going to go from that south wind, horrible pressure. We have a cold front blow through, a weather system. It's going to rain a ton. And then the next day, northwest winds, pressure starts to skyrocket. It's Halloween, and November's right around the corner. So appreciate you guys following along. Obviously, if you found this video, you see that the chase is now on the Chase, Midwest Whitetail, the Chase YouTube channel. It is no longer on the Midwest Whitetail main show channel. So to keep those things clear, we brought it over here. And I appreciate you guys following along. I have a feeling me and Evan are finally about to get into some good hunting. And I'm very, very excited to hopefully get the opportunity to put this new bow to work and shoot a giant buck. Good luck out there. Appreciate you guys for watching.